Hey, good morning, everyone. So we're in the shop. It's May 28th, 2022, and I think today we're gonna start working on the shelves in the pay dirt room. So here I have a full sheet. It's 8 feet long, 48 inches wide, and this is 3/4 inch plywood. I think what we're gonna do a standing shelf from this corner all the way over 8 feet, which is just past this outlet. It's gonna be 38 inches high. And then starting there, we're gonna go down and make another shelf, a sitting desk all the way over to the wall. And that's gonna be for the computer and stuff like that. And then this will be the standing workstation for making pay dirt. And up above here, we'll remove this stuff, and we have to leave a clearing around this because I'm gonna have an upgraded panel eventually. Up here, we're gonna have more shelves, like all these buckets. A lot of these buckets are filled with different gemstones. We're gonna have separate containers for like 50 different gemstones. So we're gonna have like a series of open shelves here where you can just reach your hand in, grab gemstones and add them to the bags. First thing we gotta do is build these shelves. But before we do that, we gotta clean up this mess. So let's do that. All right, so here's a quick look at what it's going to look like. You'll be seeing this a lot in the future. So basically it's the same way I build my shelves, just any dimension piece of wood right here. Could be a 2x4, or here I have 2x2s, they're a lot cheaper, and they do the same exact job. So basically screw that to the studs all the way down. I had these two 4-foot sections. So instead of butchering a complete 8-foot piece, I can just put these two together and then reinforce it underneath with another piece of wood. And then they're not done yet. I still have to put the legs on. I gotta make sure that they are level, which is quite important. And yeah, let's go ahead and sink the last screw here, and then we can go ahead and put the legs on. Nothing quite as satisfying as that. There was so much junk over here, I just kind of shoved it all over here. And once these shelves are up and we have more shelves built, everything is gonna have a space. Those chargers are gonna be in the other room. That's just one box of gold pans. They'll all be unboxed and stacked. Camera stuff is gonna be in the YouTube studio. Still a lot to do. A lot of fun. All right, yeah, this is actually a good height. So this is perfect for me and for Heather. It's a little bit lower than her current standing workstation down in the laundry room, the temporary pay dirt room. And so this is a lot better. I also put a nice little round over on these just to knock off that hard, sharp edge. I just took a round over bit with the router and just blasted that off. I should probably go around this corner here just to get rid of that sharp edge. The door should open most of the way. Let's see. Yeah, we're good. And then back here, we're gonna make sure that I do not allow it to gain clutter. This is gonna be very specific stuff. We're gonna have shelving and stuff over here. And again, we can't make it too cluttered because this panel has to get upgraded in the future, and I don't know what the electrician is gonna need to do here. So we're gonna leave this space a little bit open around that. All right, let's get the legs on it and we'll have a pay dirt room. All right, we have the standing work area and the sitting work area. Pretty much installed. The only thing we have to do is some finer detail work. Like for instance, on these roundovers, when I was putting the brad nails in the bottom, I didn't think that the 2 inchers would go all the way through if I shot it at an angle, but some of them didn't go in at an angle, so there's a little bit of, they pop through a little bit. So I can fix that easily with the file that I got at a yard sale yesterday. Just simply go over it. I can round over these little edges and stuff just to make it a little more comfortable to sit at. You see this from the router? I can just, take those down and make them nice and smooth. I also when I butted these two together, oh, there's a sharp one right there too. This will take off the nails as well. Perfect. Thing is, and then these little holes and stuff, I could fill all that later on if I really wanted to. It's not a big deal. But when I put these together, the sizes weren't exactly right. We're about probably almost 1/8 of an inch off. So in order to fix that, I'm gonna take my flush cut router bit, the bottom bearing flush cutting router bit, and I'm just gonna go over this entire thing just to even this entire thing up right along this frame that I built for it. So the way that I attached these two underneath was just by a piece of plywood, and I just put in screws that didn't go all the way through. So it's a nice smooth surface. I can fill those. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that detail work, and we got ourselves a nice pay dirt workstation finally. Of course, like I said, next we'll build shelves, and that's gonna be a whole project. Just getting the shelves on this wall specifically for pay dirt stuff. Okay, I made another stop by Home Depot, and I bought 3 more cans of the expanding foam. And I pretty much just walked around and looked for anywhere that there was a little bit of movement. There was some over here, which surprised me because I didn't think that it was, you know, there was a gap over here. I thought that was all concrete, but anyway, there is a small gap there and there was a little bit of movement. I filled it all in. I also picked up 20 pieces of premium white wood 2x4s. I selected some of the straighter ones with less knots and everything. The reason I picked these up is because I'm gonna build my workbench out of 2x4s. And the way I'm gonna do it is basically stand them all up on end like this and have it, you know, I'm gonna run every one through the planer. And then I'm gonna glue them together in bundles of 7 after they've been planed. That way I can run them through the planer to make them all perfect. And then I'll have 3 sections of 7, well, 2 sections of 7, 1 of 6, and I'll glue all 3 together as close as I can, because I don't obviously have a planer that's, you know, what is it, 26 inches long it's gonna be. So once this is done, that'll be, you know, the last workbench top I'll ever need. Of course, you know, once in a while I'll have to run a planer over to hand plane it. But yeah, I'm also gonna cut off these ugly, you can see there's some nasty ends here. These are 8 feet long, and I probably want my bench to be about 7.5 feet long. So, cause I mean, that's a huge workbench. I mean, it would work actually, but don't need it that big. All right, what's the next project here? I guess I did clean up a little bit. I guess what I could do is run all these through the planer. That way I can get rid of all that extra material, and then I can really give the place a good once over, clean it up, and get a couple, you know, buckets full of sawdust for sure from the planer. That little planer, guys, is so, I mean, this model here, Makita 2012 NB, this is the second one I've owned, and this is like, the only reason it's the second one I owned is because the first one got stolen, and then I repurchased this one. Never had any issues with it. Yeah, it's a 12-inch planer, and yeah, it works great for lots of stuff. I mean, technically, I don't even have to buy a big planer. I could actually just use this, run each half, and then clamp them together, and then run them through the big sander to finish it off. I mean, that's really the only use I have for it, is to, after the 2 body halves are glued together, I'd run it through the big planer once, and then run it through this to finish it off. But if I was careful planing each half and then gluing them together, clamping them, and they're not off at all, then I could just run it through this and it would be the same exact, I mean, that's, if I do that, I'm saving like $4,000 on a planer. So who knows, maybe that'll be my permanent one. Who knows? All right, the air filtration system is off. We made a good amount of sawdust to fill up that garbage bag, this thing here, and I got a nice little pile going over there. But we took 18 of the 20, which is my original calculation. I grabbed 2 extra just because I wasn't sure if I was gonna have 2 bad ones, and sure enough, these ones here are really naughty, and it does give me the almost 26 inches here. After I clamp it, it'll be closer to like 25.5 or something like that. But this is what I was going for. So you can see the ends here. This is gonna be an extremely sturdy and just kind of indestructible workbench top. So the next step is to split these up into sections of 6. So each group of 6 we're gonna glue together individually, and then that will allow us to run this side and the opposite side through the planer. And then once all 3 pieces are the same size, then we can make the 2 final glue joints, and we'll have a giant workbench, all with, well, chop saw, that little planer, and a couple Jorgensen clamps. Of course, this is the secret weapon back in here. I've got tons and tons of Jorgensen clamps. We're only gonna need probably 8 of them for this job, but we'll probably break them all out and just get as many clamps on there as possible. So it is 5:30. I was kind of rushing to get this done because Heather said she's on her way home and she's gonna be cooking dinner tonight, so she's already home, and I think I can smell her cooking all the way through the brick wall, the yard, and I'm just kidding. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you know what to do, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.